Live there, and we live over there.
We are on fire.
Oops. Okay. Let me get the plaster of Paris off the table.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it.
Oh yeah, well that's all
I
that
just
plaster.
left it there.
No, I wasn't. Well, good morning. It's the breakfast show. My name is Maris, and we're over in the classroom / lab / studio / overflow treatment room /
storage.
Yeah, right now it looks like a storage.
We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, but I've got a class on Saturday, so I haven't but no choice to get it taken care of. But but we'll get it there. We'll get it rocking and rolling and feeling groovy, and I am so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's the first class of the. I was going to say of the decade, but no. It's the first class of the year.
Well, it could be decade. I mean, it is 2021, so I mean,
Yeah.
You could call it a decade.
Yeah. Do we have to count 2020?
No.
That's just my question. I just want to know, do I have to own 2020?
No.
And as long as I don't have to own it, we're cool, right?
Yeah, don't own it. It's all good. We're just going to let it go.
I don't own 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think of all this crazy weather that's been so up and down and insane and yeah?
We're getting ready to come out of restriction and quarantine and all of that. Because if you notice, like in 2020, our weather, technically was kind of mild.
It was mild.
Compared to what we're normally used to. So I'm over here laughing in my head going, you know why? That's because we were all in quarantine and you can't social distance in shelters. So if they start loosening up on social distancing, then we can start getting into shelters again. So guess what? Harp just started pressing that button and said, y'all thought 2020 was a bitch. Guess what?
Well, you sent me that article last night about the polar...
The vortex split. Yeah, the polar vortex is splitting, so get ready for a crazy winter. And I'm like, man, we had an ice storm in October, and then a week later we had 80-degree weather.
And then it snowed last week.
Yeah, and then it was 60-something yesterday?
Yeah, and then they're predicting snow this weekend.
Oh, Bo, please don't do that to me.
Right? I know. I can't do it. So
because we'll just reschedule that class. But you know what? I'm not feeling the snow.
I don't think it's going to. I've been watching the weather and it doesn't look like it. So although this last snow, they kept saying, 2 to 3 inches, just a skiff, it won't even stick. And then we got on our side of town, we got 8 inches.
I'm in the mid-southwest area. We got 5 inches. Now, one channel was poo-pooing it, and then the other channel was like, oh yeah, maybe even 5 inches. Yeah. And so they were pretty accurate through there. But one was like, oh, no big deal. We'll be out there, sun tanning tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, only at the sun tan salon.
Right.
Because I wasn't out there sun tanning. I don't know about y'all. My son...
I just don't do the cold. So.
Yeah, I don't do cold. That was me. And I was like, I had a couple of clients that day scheduled for the 1st, and they went in and they were like, we need to, and I'm like, no problem. They're like, I'll pay the late, and I'm like, no, Mother Nature rules on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, trust me, I don't want to come in just as much as y'all don't want to drive through it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like driving, and I don't have a lack of, I do have a lack of confidence in my skills on ice.
Me too.
I don't like driving on ice. I had a really bad accident.
On ice.
So it's flashback, I'm good.
People think I'm crazy, but I'll be like, nope, there's a flake falling from the sky. I'm done, I'm home. Mm-hmm. I've had enough. There was one day I was driving for Uber, and it was supposed to snow that day. This was the first round of snow that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up in Midwest City, and the flakes were starting to get bigger and thicker and more of them. And I'm all like pep talking as I'm driving. I'll be fine.
I can do this.
It just started. And so then I go to I go to pick up my niece from the school, and I was probably about 2 hours early picking her up. But I slid, and coming from Midwest City to Oklahoma City, it was almost whiteout conditions. I mean,
Oh,
it
we
was
remember
white.
whiteout conditions coming back from Isabel or Isabella.
That was
Oklahoma.
fun. This was worse, I promise.
Oh, okay. Oh
This
my
was
God, that
worse.
was a night. I mean, that was like fun.
We had fun.
In
was
hindsight,
crazy.
I'm laughing, but there were points that I was like, I can't see diddly do. I'm already blind, driving. It's
And
like
then
two
I was
crazy old ladies driving.
And I was laughing the whole time. Of course.
She's laughing. I wasn't. Nah, I mean it was fun. I enjoyed it. I
It was
enjoyed
fun.
it very
It was
much.
fun.
So, what have you been doing? Have you started anything new, or restarted anything for 2021 in your self care?
In my self-care,
In self care.
that's hard. Not really. Not anything real new. I pulled a muscle in my back last week, so I had these plans that I was going to. In fact, I got 2 of them. I got 2 kettlebells from Five Below, one for the house and one for the office. So I have no excuses if I don't get it done at home. And I'm like, I'm only going to work all day today in the office. I'm not going to get it done. I'll have a kettlebell in the office, so I can do kettlebell swings. So that's my plan. But I pulled a muscle in my back last week, and so I've been nursing it.
So that's her excuse.
That's my excuse,
Yeah.
and I'm sticking to it. No, it was painful.
No.
I'm telling
Oh
you.
yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Well, I had some lingering emotions. I did a lot of like clearing and whatever, and I had some lingering emotions that were going through. And I work on them, and I think on the outer or the conscious level, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm over that, or I'm healed from that, or I've moved on from that. And then little things will crop up, and I notice I have like this annoyance and anger. And it's not like I'm like, rah, all the time, or angry all the time, because it's like, I can feel annoyed, but then I'm like distracted by something that makes me happy.
well, or something happens.
Or something
triggers
happens,
It,
and-
I mean,
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went to go see Christina
Mm-hmm.
and had the Bach Remedy, or Bach. Some people call it Bach. It's Bach, but you can call it Bach. I still love you. You still love me. We're all good, right? The flower essences. And so she did the consultation, and it was really the way that I've done the consultation, or have had a consultation done, or how I've done it, is you have like a questionnaire, and you go through the questionnaire, and then that will help you determine, and then you can, muscle test for, if that's the, which one's the best or whatever. So she has this little book, and you put your thumb on this particular place on this book, so or your finger, one of your fingertips, and so you put it down there, and she takes her pendulum and she muscle tests
Oh wow.
what, so at first it starts, and she said, and so like I told her, I said, I need to work with my anger. So this is some self-disclosure time, okay?
We're gonna get a little raw.
On my anger, I said, I'm so easily annoyed by people. I was just like, it's like I'm driving down the road, I don't like the way you turned. You switched lanes,
She got on to me for the way I parked.
I know.
She goes, "Do you see the way you parked? That's pathetic."
And all I was sitting there thinking is like, we're supposed to be examples.
I fixed it.
Of,
I fixed
of
it.
whatever,
It's
you
okay.
know, and it's like, so, it's like, practice what you preach.
There
And,
you
and
go.
if I'm complaining about the way that they park on the sidewalk, and here we are like, parked, you know.
It was very
just as bad.
It was very crooked this morning.
Yes, it was. And if it was just a little off, I wouldn't have said a word.
I didn't realize how bad it was until we walked
tell
out.
you, she had a caddy corner.
I
It
did.
was parked caddy
It
corner
did.
in there. And I'm like, what the hell?
I walked back out to get my water bottle out, and I didn't realize how bad it was until we walked out there. And then you said something. I'm like, I know, I'll fix it.
Oh my gosh, you know. And I'm like, turn that around, you know. How can I be bitching about other people when we look like that, you know? So.
That's like the mom coming out, you know. It's like, you're going to the store looking like that.
Yeah. Oh my goddess, you know. So I noticed that, you know, I was like angry. I was like, you know, I would be angry about the way the chick parked. You know, and I'm kind of like, hey, it's not my car. If somebody hits it, rock on, you know.
There you go.
Your dent, not mine. Unless it was me, you know. And then I'm like, God, you know. But, you know, so I noticed those little things, and it was just like easily annoyed. And part of me is like, why are you annoyed? And I'm like, people just annoy, just little things like that. And it was, you know, and I'm like, I blame it on the mask. You know, and literally I do think the mask reduces our accountability and responsibility, so we can kind of do some stupid shush. I said shush. So, oh wow, I got makeup on my mask. You know, now I can't wear it. Anyway,
throw it away. It's
yeah,
garbage
like,
now. You can't.
I can wash it, but yeah, no, I can't put it back on because it's contaminated. That's the nurse in me. Okay, and everybody else is like, girl, just put it on. Make everybody feel safe. So anyway, so I go and I test for 7 freaking remedies. Okay, I only have one problem. My anger. Okay.
Or do you? Maybe you have a whole lot of other stuff going on, and the anger is the symptom of the other stuff.
Okay, so she's like, she goes, oh, I have your cards. And I went, I noticed. the Bach Remedies cards? Yeah. She's, I've been using them. I noticed.
She took your cards?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I'm like, well, I guess she can rent them out, you know. So I get 7 different remedies. So she's got to get me the big bottle. And she doesn't leave the room until she sees me do the drops.
That's kind of...
She's like, you need to work on this. But, all right, so I'm not going to go into the remedies today. But, so there's 7 remedies. And a couple of them were for, and I'm like, because I know them, and I'm like,
Not me.
I don't see that. No.
Not me.
Then I'm like, ooh, I do see that one. So I'm like, And then this morning I'm in the shower getting ready. You know, I got the soap up in my hair. So my crown is being stimulated here by my light. And it was like boom, 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 boom. And for each one of those flower essences that she tested me for and recommended and made my personal remedy, my personal prescription, you know, my flower essence prescription here, each one of them had a particular event or something that was occurred to, you know. So on the willow oil there was, or the willow essence, it was one thing, and then the next essence, and I was just like, son of a biscuit. Damn, we are vibration. That's what we are. So the Bach Remedies, flower essence remedies are used to help restore our vibration to a healed and aligned point. So you do, you know, the Bach folks kind of have a different protocol where they do 2 drops. I've always learned 4 drops 4 times a day, and she does 4 drops 4 times a day, so I was cool. And then she looked at me and she says, 8 drops 8 times a day. And I'm like, I must be in crisis.
Wow.
So sometimes you don't realize. Well, one of the flower essences was agrimony.
I figured. That's actually the first one that came to my mind.
Yeah,
You
and
said anger was agrimony.
Okay, all right, but let's clarify about the agrimony there. The agrimony is on the outside. You're acting like everything is wonderful, and you're balanced, and you're well aligned, and life is good, and you're happy. And I'm not saying I'm not happy, because I am happy, but it's like you just have all this wonderful peace on the outside, and then on the inside, it's like something totally motherfucking different. Okay.
That's right. I probably need some of that.
And so, I was like trying to downplay that. I'm like, oh, no, I'm working through that.
Yeah.
I'm working through that. And then you realize you aren't working through that. Not in the way that you really need to. Sometimes you need to totally break that vibration, because we can do, we can go and get massages. We can do Reiki. And I'm lying there all, they're going, but you're talking crap about it right now. No, I'm not talking crap about it. I'm just saying you can go and do all of these external things. You can have somebody do Reiki to you. You can have a massage done to you. You can have your pedicure, manicure done. You can have your hair done.
You can go get acupuncture.
You can get acupuncture.
Whatever.
You can get all of these things done. But until you fix from the inside out,
it's not gonna.
It's not. You're still putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound when it's in that crisis mode or in that really intense mode.
And then you get physically ill.
And then you're like, I don't know what the heck's going on. And I'm like, go see Christina. Get your little bio thing done, the biometry, She speaks Spanish, and it's done in Spanish. Google Translate is your best friend. You put the laptop's right there in front of you, and people are doing this, and it's translating back and forth. So it was really nice. I mean, so if it was like something that somebody doesn't, maybe they speak Spanglish, and, you don't understand, but I mean, everything, you've got the Google Translate. Come on, let's just make life easy here.
It makes it easy to
then we went in there, and it was a good experience. I had a really good experience. I forgot my bottle yesterday, so I had come in and had done some work, and then had left and had forgotten my bottle, and so I need to get back on track with it today, because I didn't get all my doses in yesterday. But I know, Cristina, ya yo sé que yo tengo que usar 8 gotas. Cristina, I know I'm going to have to do 8 drops today.
She might have to add a few more.
Yeah, just like fudge.
And Christina's here in the building, right?
Yeah, Christina's here in our building. She actually is in the 8005 Suite South I-35 Service Road. She's in Suite 107. And I'm like, ding, dang it, where's her number? See, she needs to have it up there on the board. Okay, but yeah, so she shares space here with us. Her name is Christina. It's Reiki, Flores, Flores, Day, DE, Bach, BACH, Luz, LUZ. That's her Facebook page. She's really awesome.
You can just see it for
very, very soft spoken lady.
Finding her
Yeah.
number.
Oh, it's not on there. We'll post her link in the comments of this video. That way you can get to meet her, and
She's really cool.
she's really cool. She studied in Mexico. She's certified in the Bach Remedies. So she's my go-to for batch.
Awesome.
And I tell you, it was really weird because I'm like doing this thing with my finger on the little book, and she does her little routine with it. And then, and I'm kind of like, about it. Not really, I don't want her to think I was being hateful, because I wasn't being hateful. But I was like, I don't know why I need 7 remedies. I only have one issue.
It was an acceptance thing, right?
Yeah, and then, so this morning in the shower, it totally changed. But anyway.
Well, it's not the whole denial. If you keep denying those trapped emotions that are sitting there festering and going on, they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until you're in a crisis.
Well, and it's funny because I do tapping as well, so if I'm like really pissed off and I don't know why, you'll kind of catch me sometimes like tapping on myself, going, okay, why am I pissed? Why am I pissed? Why am I annoyed? Why am I angry? And I don't always get that answer.
Right.
Maybe because I'm not doing the whole routine. I don't know, So I started doing things in a more creative manner, and I noticed that I was feeling a lot more balance. But it was funny because I asked her, I said, so when we're done with this bottle, what happens next? Oh, well, we'll reassess you, and we'll work on the next set of problems that you have. And I looked at her, and I finally, I just get over there because I'm like, I'm going to cuss. So I get on there and I type. So do we ever get to a point that I don't need this? And she's looking at me and she goes, well, not you.
Not you. I think that's true of anybody, because, we've got emotions happen every single day. It doesn't matter what your day is. I mean, I had a hell of a morning this morning getting here, but
like every major highway, you almost got killed. Like,
yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. Seriously, this morning on the way here,
you know what that was? That was the devil saying that we should not be together.
You're right. It was the devil working on
it.
The
devil was working on us, going, you girls are making magic. You cannot do this.
Straight.
You're going to get people thinking in a positive manner. And I'm like, I rebuke you in the name of peace and love.
There we go.
Okay, so we rebuke all devils in the name of peace, love, and harmony.
There we go.
What did we do last night?
Oh my gosh. We made soap last night.
And
so you asked me what I'm doing differently, and I'm like sitting here stirring soap last night going, I forgot how relaxing this is.
I know.
Why did I quit doing this?
I know. And so I'm like, so when you notice that we've got 1,000 bars of soap, you know that we've been working on our personal alignment.
Either that or we think you're really dirty. I don't know.
We're really dirty.
So
I don't
here,
know.
let me move this for a minute.
I'm kind of laughing because if you walk into over at the 8001, and we have a 1-story building and a 2-story building. We're in a 2-story building on the bottom floor, and then in the 1-story building, well, of course, we're on the bottom floor because there's only one bottom floor. But over there is like some of the treatment rooms, and then over in the 2-story building, that's where we are right now. And y'all are like, what the hell is she talking about? And I'm like, okay. Anyway, over in the 1-story building, when you walk in, there's nothing but paintings on the right side of the wall.
That's her.
And so that has been my therapy.
So the last week or so, my therapy has been lotion bars and
I like the little
kitchen witching.
Kitchen witching, okay.
Kitchen witching. That's my
She is a
thing.
kitchen witch.
So here are, this one's kind of.
I'm a bathtub one. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? And I don't. Everybody talks about these fancy soaps and getting all these fancy soaps, and I'm kind of like, you know what? It's soap. It gets you clean.
I like the more
These look nice.
the more rusticy it is, the better
I love the rustic look. Yeah. So you may not find anything fancy here. I'm just saying.
These smell good too.
These are so nice. These are
and these are the Is it called cold process? What's it
Cold,
called?
cold process. Don't know why they call it cold process, because you have to heat up the fat to melt it.
And,
And the lye gets hotter than hell.
And it's kind of stinky.
It is.
The first batch, I was cool.
It
This is the
ended
first
up being a
batch.
very small batch.
Yeah.
The first one did.
And this is the first batch.
These kind of look cool on the backside where you poured them. They've got some like swirlies on them.
Yeah, so
cool looking.
yeah, they're not even. And I'm like, I like the rustic look.
Think of it as a massage bar.
Well,
Whatever.
you know what? Because I'm going to say, you look at, and I'm just going to use ivory because ivory just comes to mind, a bar. Every bar of ivory looks alike.
Mm-hmm. Every single one.
There's nothing, and if there is a little flaw to it, they take it and it's a second, or they pitch it, or they rebatch it, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of like, but when you are personally creating something, that flaw is a perfection
Very
within
much.
the imperfections. It's like that fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
It's what totally identifies it as its own self or own piece. So the second batch we did with goat's milk. So the first one is with frankincense and orange. Mm-hmm. And
these are tallow bars, so they're
tallow
made
bars.
with beef fat.
With beef fat. So that was interesting, looking at the beef fat. And I'm like, I've got a whole bag of pork fat on my
just need to render
porch, okay? My husband is like Grizzly Adams weird.
And we aren't.
Well,
so
let me just tell you, my freaking front yard looks like a Louisiana hoodoo man's nightmare thing, okay? Because my husband's Native American, so he's kind of like a medicine / holy man, he's like kind of out there, like spiritually, I walk in the realms, and so he's got like this round catcher thing that's got like owl claws on it.
To catch all the evil spirits. They don't
to catch all the evil spirits, and the owl claws are kind of like word, like don't mess with me. Mm-hmm. And so we've got like all little things like that on our front porch.
And see, I think that's cool. I don't know. You talk to people who are like,
girl, I feel like I'm in a Pumpkinhead movie.
But some people I think need symbols, physical symbols for their spirituality.
I'm just glad I don't live in like Galardia with this shit. I'm like,
that would be bad.
I live in a very ethnic neighborhood, and so it's like, yeah, it's so they're okay with the magical and mystical kind of, Aboriginal vibe or whatever. But I'm just sometimes like, dude, but okay.
It's okay. Although last night we got called out by one of the ladies in the other offices. She comes down the hall. She goes, "What are you hippies up to today?"
And I'm like, Pesa. And I'm like, maybe it's the aroma. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, no. So we're making soap. Oh, so we're making the goat's milk soap, and that's really what I was trying to get to this point. So we're making the goat's milk soap, and I'm like, the first time ever in my life, I'm like, I've got to put my mask on.
She's like, this stuff stinks.
I'm like, does this smell like this all the time? Because I don't like the way it smells,
Which is why you have to be in a very well ventilated area when you make soap.
Well, I didn't notice it with the first batch, but the second batch was like double that. A little bit more. Yeah. It's about double that.
I actually thought the lye was bad with the first batch because I mixed the lye in the water and I'm like, there's no steam coming off of it. Something's not right. And I was like getting a little panicky about it. And then it cooled really fast. And so I was like, well, that was weird, but okay. And then when we did that second batch, it was a bigger batch, and it's like I poured the lye into the goat milk, and all the steam was coming off of it, and I'm like, okay, it's working.
Yeah,
So,
and then she's like, it's curdling. You know.
I wasn't happy. So I don't know if that one's going to turn out. So it may be a truly very.
That was an
rough.
experiment.
It was an experiment, but it's a cedar wood.
It's a cedar wood.
And it's a beautiful golden color. But I didn't bring it over to show on the video because I'm not sure what it's going to do. So
yeah, I'm like, we have to wait.
We're going to wait on it. I'll wait until this afternoon. We'll give us some good few more hours to
yeah,
dry.
these look really cool.
These are dry, and these will be ready for Valentine's Day. They still have to cure some more. In fact, I have some hangnails, and they're starting to burn a little bit from the lye, but these still have to cure, so they're not ready to use yet. But by Valentine's Day, they will be ready, and they'll be a lovely Valentine's gift.
I can't wait.
You know what we should do on these?
I want to make some more. There's like little imperfections that are driving me nuts. Okay, I can't help it.
We should do Valentine pictures, glue on the front of them, and dip them in wax. Just do a little bit of wax. And then they have this, and then they're pretty.
Sounds cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, but will you get mad about getting Valentine's picture all over your body when you wash it, or does
No,
it?
it just comes off.
Okay.
Because that's what the wax protects it. So you have this side of the bar to wash with, and it won't be.
So you got the cute little picture on that side. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. We could do a few of those for Valentine's Day, and then you come get your Valentine's gifts. Yay!
Yeah, so they will be ready.
These will definitely be ready by Valentine's. Because it is, what, the 6th now?
So they'll be ready February 6th-ish?
Mm-hmm. About 4 weeks.
Yep, we let them cure for about a month.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll be ready. So these will be great Valentine gifts, so be ready for that.
Okay, so what you got cooking in the kitchen today?
What do we got cooking in the kitchen? So we have fermented garlic. Well, not yet. So I had my son peel garlic for me last night. Oh, let's say there's a little, not that it matters, but these are so much fun. And we actually made these in one of the herb classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never done them before. I did some research on fermented foods and thought, let's try this. So we did it in the class, and our family fell in love with fermented garlic, which is why I'm doing a quart jar instead of a pint jar like I did before.
Well, if you eat a lot of garlic,
yeah, if you eat a lot of garlic, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a medicinal, it's a culinary.
Mm-hmm. And then we had talked about doing fermented honey garlic as well, which is really good.
Yes,
So you use that
that's
for
next
like
week.
a cough syrup or viral protection. It's wonderful, and it actually tastes really good. But this is so stinking easy to make that you have to understand. My husband gets like, I'll come home with something, and I'm like, guess what? If you do this and this and this, guess what happens? And he's like, really? And so all of a sudden, I had jars of cabbage fermenting.
Oh, wow.
Because he went crazy. And I don't remember what else. He did a couple of things. But and it's pretty much all, and this is not hard. This is super, super simple. So I'm going to use a quart of water, which is 2 cups. So a little bit more. I was looking at a quart mark and I was looking at the cup mark. And then you use 2 tablespoons of sea salt. Or a little more if it comes out too fast. But we're not telling, are we?
Mm-mm.
It's not going to matter. Make that one a little skank. And just stir it around and dissolve it. That's all there is to it. And then we're going to pour it over the garlic bulbs. This is the hardest part. Getting the salt to dissolve in the water.
Okay, so could you use a hotter water
Oh, yeah.
to dissolve it, and do you let it get down to room temperature, or?
I guess you could if you wanted to. I mean, if you could, they even suggestions for peeling garlic. You can peel this garlic any way that you want to, but one suggestion was to actually roast it in the oven before you put it in the jar.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And that helps the peel pull away, so that you can, so it's easier to peel. The other suggestion, I actually kind of wanted to do this on the video today, but I didn't get it all pulled together like I wanted to. Was that you take your big bulb of garlic and you cut off the top and the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
put it in a pot with the lid on it, and then shake it. And then when you're done, they're peeled.
I actually, because I made some fermented garlic at home last week or the week before, and it was okay. No, actually start to sink too on that.
They will start to sink.
And
And I'm gonna add a little more water to it.
I did it to where I was pouring
I feel like it needs a little more.
I put the garlic in a jar, and I did shake.
And you really do need to shake it about once a day until it's ready.
And it was hard. It took me 4 times. So to me, it was faster just to do it by hand.
Really? To
Yeah.
peel it?
Yeah.
I was peeling by hand. But FYI, so I finished peeling these last night, and I was getting ready for bed, and I went to go take, and I was getting ready to get in the shower, but I had washed my hands 2 or 3 times since I'd been done peeling them. I went to take my contacts out, and I was like, dang, why is my eye burning?
The garlic and lye.
Did I get lye? That was my first thought. Was, crap, did I have like a piece of lye stuck under my nail or something? Oh, it was garlic. So, yeah. Because I went like this and went, oh, I suppose my hands still smell like garlic. So if you want to get the garlic smell out of your hands, you know how to do that.
Lemon oil.
Lemon oil works. Salt.
Oh, really? I did not know that about salt.
So there is the garlic, and that's it. We're going to let this set for about 4 weeks. You'll watch it, and it'll start bubbling up. And I have a partial jar at home that I was going to bring so you could see the coloring change in it. But the water will kind of start turning a brownish color. But this is a great way, if you get garlic, find a really good deal on garlic at the store, and you're like, oh, I wish I ate garlic that much. This is a great way to preserve it, because now I can use this garlic any way I want.
You can use it in a salad. You can use it in cooking.
Mm-hmm. So even to the point that now I try to make sure that I never pour more liquid off than what will cover the garlic.
Okay.
So I want the garlic always covered. But I've poured the liquid off, which is why I left a lot of headspace this time. I pour the liquid off into soups, and it doesn't take very much. A couple tablespoons, and you've got a nice garlic flavor in a soup. So, but then we'll pull the bulbs out and cut them up.
Salsas,
soups, whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing. So
it's fermented garlic.
It's actually lacto-fermented garlic, is the way they...
Okay, what makes it lacto?
I'm not sure,
lacto,
actually.
I think of cow.
I do too.
Or milk or dairy.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
like,
So I'm not sure
dairy
how
in
they...
there.
I'm not scientific like that.
Unless it's the lactobacillus.
You can put herbs in this as well. So right now I don't have any fresh herbs growing because it's winter time, but this would make a great gift too. I mean, we should have done this before Christmas, right? You could have done this for gifts. You put a sprig of rosemary in there, a sprig of oregano, some basil leaves or whatever, and then you just...
It's time to start planting seeds and getting your plants ready for your spring garden. Spring, you think about it, January to February to March. 2 months away.
It's time.
Well, 2.5 months away. Okay. We'll add a little time on there. 2.5 months away. So that means that gives you, like some 60, 75 days to get your, I'm like over here counting the days. I love springtime. Because I am so excited. I've got white sage seeds I'm getting ready to sow.
I'm excited for that.
And then I have mugwort seeds that I'm starting to sow. And then I also have wormwood.
Nice.
Okay, so mugwort and wormwood, you can add that into your white sage and make some really good bundles, smudge bundles, especially if you like to smudge before you do any meditation work. For those of us that like to astral travel, mugwort and wormwood are really good herbs to burn and utilize to help kind of open up the third eye
Right.
and allow for like lucid dreaming. Let's just, lucid dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And lucid dreaming is when you have, like when you are in a little bit of control of your dreams and you can kind of step outside of your
Right.
environment. So it's really kind of interesting to do. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
That's gonna be fun.
And then we are going to start carrying our own lines of incense.
Yay! I'm
Yeah,
excited about
so,
that. I can't wait.
We've got so many
I
cool things
am so
happening.
excited to learn how to do that.
I'm very excited about so all of her ingredients and things should start coming in this week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be creating. Then you let them cure for a couple of weeks.
Right.
So again, February, Valentine's Day, we're gonna have some really really cool things for folks.
We're flipping around the detox room, the front
Yeah.
room in the office suite. So that's gonna be like a little boutique buy area. So I've been madly creating. You've been madly creating to put stuff in it. So, what have you been creating lately? You brought in some cool stuff last night.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not ready yet. They're some pieces that I've been making. So it's kind of like when you do a paint pour,
Mm-hmm.
and you end up with cups of paint, and you're like, what am I gonna do with that? And then you're like, I could do another painting. I was like, I needed a little bit different outlet because sometimes I wouldn't have a whole lot of paint. So I started casting and making coasters and just candle holder things. I don't know.
Things, yeah.
Little things. And it was more started out as experimentation
Mm-hmm.
with techniques and pour painting. And it ended up being things that I was like digging I was doing. And I was like, oh my God, I love this.
They're so cool. She was all like, look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah.
They're
And
so cool looking though. They are cool.
But it's like, I don't know. I kind of look at everything around me. It's like you go to the store and, all the bars of soap look alike. You can get Dial Zest, this, that, or you look on the back of the bottle and it's like chemicals that you don't even know what the heck they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm tired of putting this stuff on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of putting this stuff in my body.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was like, I want to have better control over what's happening to me,
Right.
and that I can start directing things. And that
Right.
was why I kind of, started painting. It was like, you can have anger, you can have sadness, you can have total joy. And sometimes it's not appropriate to exhibit those. And then sometimes, if it's joy, yeah, it is. But, for me, it was a point of going in there and starting to change my own vibration.
Right.
So what kind of what do I have going on? I got a lot of different things
Yeah.
going on.
Well, I've been the same way.
For every, and I'm not saying that, I'm just using this as an example, but for every flawed thing that I create, is there something that I can help it become unflawed, So it was like when I did a pour I had excess plaster one day, and I'm like, what the heck, and I'm like, I gotta use this up because I don't want to waste it. And I had some kind of like the mold part was beautiful, but it was kind of lumpy or weird or whatever on the back. And then I'm like looking at it going, but if I do this to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can put it with that and create a really beautiful piece.
Right.
So it's for me, when I look at this, and I don't know if you're experiencing it or if you guys experience this, but it's like for every negative blah thing in my life, I can pick it up and look at it and go, how do I make this beautiful?
Right.
Or how do I make this productive? How do I make this?
How do I recreate this into
this
beautiful?
into something that is, that brings me joy, or that, whatever on that. So, and so it's like every day is an adventure. Every day, whether you're trying a new recipe, I made somebody laugh, and I was like, no, seriously, I'm working on a cannabis cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because not everybody wants to smoke weed. Okay, they might like the product, they like the herb, they like what the herb can do for them, but not everybody wants to be sitting there, smoking a joint.
Right.
And so if you learn how to work with it, and put it into other forms, let's add it into our food. And then I'm like, nobody wants to taste weed,
Yeah.
It's that, honestly, when you decarb it and you smell it and you're like, yeah.
It's not very appetizing.
It's not,
It's
and
not
then,
very appetizing.
and it was like the first time I had made butter, I was like, this stuff is nasty. I can taste it in my food,
Yeah.
and then I learned how to truly make it a butter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, you know what? You could add some roasted garlic to this and it'd be fine,
There you go.
and on a pasta, plate or whatever, So it's, make every day creative, make every day a learning experience.
Now you got me wanting to make cannabis-infused Alfredo sauce with grilled chicken on pasta.
Oh my God, that sounds really good. Actually, you know what, my first dish for anybody that decarbs themselves, okay? I get like those metal pans at the, that you bake in at holiday time so you can throw the stuff away.
Yeah.
I get the metal pan and I put my cannabis all on the bottom of the pan,
Mm-hmm.
and I decarb it in that. And then I take what I do, I take, a lot of it out of there. I take all of the green, all of the flower part, but I'm not too crazy about pulling out the little red trisomes that are in there. I let them sit in there. And then you make roasted potatoes in those. And so it's like the herb part is your herb on your potato. And then, of course, you've got butter. And butter is a fat, so that butter is absorbing the THC off of the herb that you've left in the pan.
Right.
And then you're cooking, you're roasting your potatoes with garlic or whatever in there, and you roast it in the oven. It is phenomenal. I call them bedtime buds. As in, like
bedtime spuds.
Like spuds, like buds, like potato buds,
That's great.
And because it's like you're sitting there and you're like, afterwards, I could go to bed. It's only 4:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday because you made those for Sunday dinner. I can go to bed.
So if you don't want drama from family and you're having a family dinner,
make potato buds. It'll be in my cannabis cookbook.
That's great. Speaking of potatoes, did you get the potato containers for growing potatoes in a container this last spring?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, because I know we had talked about it at one point. I tried the 5-gallon bucket method.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were about this big.
About that big. I just, the more I'm looking at it, the more I don't think I will do a container garden on potatoes. I think I will do it just like my daddy would do.
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy would dig a hole.
There you go.
And it was about, it was like a 3 foot by 3 foot hole or whatever, about 3 feet deep, something like that. I don't know if it was 3 feet deep. Probably was, knowing my dad. And he would start the potato out low and then build it up.
Oh,
And
interesting.
then once it was at ground level, then he would let it grow up, and then of course when it falls over and dies is when you go in there and you harvest your potatoes.
Right.
And we always had bushels of potatoes.
Wow.
So I'm trying to let's do above the ground. Let's do the little. I saw one that was the laundry basket.
The laundry basket, yeah.
And then the more I'm thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, but then your potatoes have a potential for getting exposed to sunlight,
Right.
and then they turn that little green, which is creating a little poison, and you really can't use the potato.
Right.
So I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna do it like my dad, and I will pay someone
to dig a hole
for me, because they just didn't work.
And it didn't work at all. Yeah. Now you're talking about your potatoes made me think about it. Then I had beautiful potato plants coming up out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were gorgeous, green kept growing and growing and growing, and we were waiting for them to die, and finally we're like, okay, well, I guess we better go out there and harvest those. Pulled them all out, and we had a handful of potatoes out of 2 5-gallon buckets that were.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of tickle your green beans with them at dinner time.
Right.
My mom would make a thing with snow peas and the little potatoes, and I'm like, well, that went over for Thanksgiving dinner, didn't it? There were 8 potatoes, and we got 8 people. Y'all get 1 potato apiece.
And it's only 1 little bite.
And you're all there like over here going, let me just lick it. That way I can hold on to that flavor, No, I mean, it's, we're laughing about it, but I mean, it was like, there were some pretty scanty things. I had horrible squash this year. Horrible.
Yeah, my squash didn't grow this year.
So
I think I was afraid of the COVID.
Yeah, afraid of the COVID. Oh my God, they're gonna make me wear a mask. I can't breathe.
My tomatoes didn't do very well this year.
I don't know how this happened. Okay. I said I am not going to grow cherry tomatoes. I don't like cherry tomatoes. They're a waste of time. They're a waste of effort. They're a waste of Miracle Grow, if that's what you use. They're a waste of my chicken poop. They're just a waste. I don't like them. So I said I'm going to seed. I'm going to grow from seed. So I buy seeds. I buy Roma because those are really good for cooking.
Yes.
And then I buy, like Big Boy, Margaritaville, something like that, So I have all of these cool seeds of these big, juicy, delicious tomatoes. And I plant and I sow these seeds, and my plants are coming up. They're growing. They're beautiful. I go and plant all these son of a guns, and guess what they all are?
They're all cherry tomatoes.
They were all cherry tomatoes, and I said, what happened here? I'm having a nervous breakdown. Not really, but I'm like, do you know how many cherry tomatoes it takes to make a tomato sauce?
A ton.
Yeah. So,
well, I got this wild idea. I have a planter that's about this big around, and so I filled it up with dirt, and I thought, I'm going to plant lettuce in this, the leafy lettuce, right? And I'm thinking, I'll just put seeds in it about once a week so that they'll continue growing, and we'll have, lots of continually harvesting lettuce. They never grew. Never grew.
Okay. Well, you want to hear something interesting? We're making seed bombs.
We are. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
In a couple of weeks, probably later this week, we'll post the dates that we're going to have some just get-togethers where we can come in and make seed bombs with us. And then we can all do some guerrilla warfare.
That would be so
like plant warfare. And you take your lettuce seeds and you make them into plant bombs or seed bombs. Because I was watching this lady from Australia, because she said that she had like several different ways to do it or make the seed bomb. So I was watching her to get, is there any cool idea that I'm missing, And so she was using products from, like the clay from her house and, and the fresh compost, or the compost from her house, and she was mixing it together. But she said with the lettuce seeds that you do that and you will actually get a better growth out of it.
Okay, well, so, I'm all about it.
So we're gonna do some seed bombs coming up in a couple of weeks. You're welcome to come join us.
We're gonna do that as a come and go.
As a come and go type thing. Well, I'm gonna be making seed bombs until my dirt and clay and manure run out.
There you go.
Or I run out of seeds.
Yeah.
But I'm like Dollar Tree has like the boxes of the wildflower
seeds, yeah.
and cosmos and marigolds. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a lot of those so I can do some urban warfare. You need some green. Boom.
You need some color, not just green here.
Yeah.
Go to some of these vacant lots and throw them out there.
And they're like, we've been mowing that. We made it pretty. I did see something that I was kind of freaking out about. I was like, I wonder if it'll happen to us. As they had, they were talking about one guy, and I think it was over on the West Coast, okay? But he was doing the seed bombs, and the city fined him.
Oklahoma City would, to be honest.
I thought we were all about making OKC beautiful. But anyway, well, they got to make a little money.
Somewhere.
Ding, 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 ding. Anyway. So that was fun. I enjoyed this.
That's fun.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our show today.
Our new little lineup.
Yes, so we got to put something cool on the board back here, or maybe flip it, and then you can read all the cool things on the board back there, or on the front board. We'll have to change my agenda for this week, because that was like a couple of months ago. That's how long. So anyway, welcome to the new studio,
new and improved breakfast show.
Where we're going to start getting a little bit more hands-on and active in what we're doing and what we're bringing, so that you can learn and grow with us. So peace, love, and harmony. I hope to see you guys, or we hope to see you guys very soon.
Very, very soon. Stop by and say hi.
Either online, or come in and see us, or come in for a session. We've always got something kind of groovy cooking. There's like a whole bunch of words up on the side. I wonder if they watched it all upside down. Because we also actually put it on Instagram today. So
yeah,
I'm like,
we did. I wonder if it's going to be sideways on Instagram.
So peace, love, and harmony.
Yay.
Hey
Soap
everybody.
Smells amazing.
It does smell amazing.
I forgot to bring the cooling racks today to put them on. Oh.
Okay, so this does not, I guess, they have to turn their thing. Turn your phone for optimal experience.
Oh well. Oh well. These don't look like much, but man, they sure are good once they've sat.
Okay, Bach Remedies, soap making. What else?
Fermented garlic. Seed bombs. We should do some more fermented foods, just because it's kind of that time of when spring coming up and people know how to do it, then they can, it's a good way to preserve foods.
Okay, what else do we want to ferment? I'll do the honey garlic next
Honey
week.
garlic. I don't know, I'll do some research on it. Because I think we could do like carrots and, I mean, you do it all the same way. There's really not that much difference in it, but just giving people ideas of what to do, you know. I think you can do like cauliflower and all kinds of stuff. I'll do a little research. Seems like I've seen like an onion or a broccoli, cauliflower, carrot fermentation mix or something. Cabbage, obviously.
Let's see how many.
Oh, I saw a recipe for a fermented salsa.